The place where no one is watching, Nevada desert, 1979. No map would bother naming the spot. Just rock, dust, heat, and a half-collapsed shack pressed into the side of a canyon like it was trying to hide from the world. Inside, a man sat alone at a wooden table, scarred by burn marks and knife cuts. No electricity, no radio, no comfort. Just notebooks stacked like bricks and a pencil worn down to the bone. He wasn't hiding. He was stripping life down to what mattered. His name didn't matter anymore. Once, people knew it, soldiers did, fighters did, men who didn't walk straight afterward did. He'd spent decades in places where hesitation got people buried. But he wasn't here to remember victories. He was here because he knew the clock was almost out. And whatever he'd learned about fear, about discipline, about the lie people call tomorrow, would die with him unless he burned it into words. He wasn't writing for praise. Nobody was coming to read this. He was writing because he finally understood something most people never touch. The real enemy was never the guy across the room, never the trigger, never the blade. The real enemy was that weak little voice inside that begged for comfort, delay, excuses. And every single day for 50 years, he'd put that voice down. You're not in a desert shack. You're not bleeding on concrete floors or waking up not sure where you are. But don't get it twisted. You're fighting the same damn war. You just don't see it yet because the enemy upgraded. It doesn't threaten you anymore. It seduces you. It lives in your phone, your mattress, your late nights. It whispers, chill, one more episode. Start Monday. And every time you listen, you fold. The chapter 2. Discipline is not hype. People think discipline is white-knuckling through misery, grinding your teeth, forcing yourself through pain. That's not discipline. That's adrenaline and ego. And that stuff burns out fast. Real discipline is what's left when motivation ghosts you. When nobody's clapping. When it's quiet and boring and uncomfortable. Discipline is structure. It's systems you build when you're calm, so you don't have to argue with yourself when you're tired. It's not inspiration, it's engineering. That man in the desert didn't feel ready the first time he stepped into real violence. He didn't feel confident. He didn't feel brave. He just decided one thing early on. Feelings don't get a vote. You haven't made that decision yet. That's why you're still the same person you were months ago. Same habits, same delays, same broken promises to yourself. You think about change like it's a mood. He treated change like a movement. And movement, repeated daily, turns you into someone you don't recognize in the mirror. This isn't about dreaming bigger. It's about moving even when your brain is screaming for comfort. Chapter 3. The world got soft. You didn't notice back then mistakes had teeth. One slip and it was over. No reset, no second try. So training was quiet, repetitive, brutally boring. Same motion, thousands of times until hesitation died. You live in the opposite world. You can blow an entire day and nothing happens. You can betray your own word again and again and the sun still comes up. No penalty, no consequence. Just a dull sense of regret that fades once TikTok loads. So your brain learns something dangerous. Your promises mean nothing. That's the trap. Modern life is built to keep you numb. Endless content, endless comfort. Endless ways to dodge the one thing that would change everything. Facing yourself without distractions. Discipline today isn't harder because you're weaker. It's harder because the battlefield is invisible. You're not fighting enemies. You're fighting an environment designed to keep you lazy and scrolling. But the solution hasn't changed. Chapter 4. Kill the morning negotiation. The man in the desert never felt out his mornings. He didn't check his mood. He didn't ask how tired he was. The first hour of the day was non-negotiable. Body first, mind later. Your morning is a war zone. If your phone wins in the first 5 minutes, the day's already hijacked. Comfort doesn't just steal time, it steals authority. Here's the move. Tonight, before sleep, write down 3 actions. Not goals, actions. Physical, simple. Unavoidable, no phone. Cold water, push-ups, stillness. Whatever, but lock them in. Tomorrow morning, don't think, execute. Your brain will complain, let it. That voice doesn't run things anymore. Every time you move without debating, you teach your nervous system something powerful. You keep your word. Do that long enough and discomfort stops feeling like danger. It just feels like weather. and weather doesn't stop movement. Chapter 5. Silence will expose you. He disappeared for years, not because he hated people, but because noise weakens discipline. Constant input turns your mind into a crowded room where nothing real can be heard. You live plugged in music, videos, podcasts, notifications. It feels normal, but it's not neutral. Every input shapes you. Take 1 hour a day, no sound, no content, no dopamine drip, just silence and whatever task is in front of you. At first, your brain will freak out. Call it boring, call it pointless. That's withdrawal talking. Sit through it. Don't fix it. After a couple weeks, the noise clears. You start hearing patterns, lies, avoidance. And once you see them, excuses stop working. Discipline doesn't come from hype. It comes from clarity. Chapter 6. Hit what you avoid. That man never trained only what felt good. He attacked weaknesses on purpose. Awkward angles, bad conditions, broken tools. You dodge discomfort like it's fire. The email, the workout, the conversation. The thing you know would change everything if you just started. That's your target. Tomorrow, do that first. 15 minutes. No warm-up, no reward. Just direct contact. It won't feel good. That's fine. The goal isn't pleasure. It's teaching your body that discomfort won't kill you. Repeat that daily and something wild happens. The things that used to stop you lose their power. They become neutral. And neutral means movement without drama. That's not motivation, that's rewiring. Chapter 7. No second bullet. Everyone gets hit. You miss a day. You mess up. That's life. But most people shoot themselves again with the story they tell afterward. I'm weak. I always fail. What's the point? That second hit does more damage than the first. New rule. 1 mistake is data. 2 is a warning. 3 is a pattern. When you slip, feel it, then close it. No spirals, no identity crisis. Just ask, what's the next right move? And do it immediately. Delay teaches your brain that failure has no cost. And when failure is cheap, discipline collapses. Chapter 8. Stop performing your growth. He never explained himself, never asked for approval. He knew the second discipline turns into a performance. It dies. You announce plans, post progress, wait for validation. Then slow down when nobody claps. Go quiet. 90 days. No updates. No speeches, no proof. Just work. Your ego will scream. Let it. Real change doesn't need witnesses. When it's real, people notice without being told. And by then, you won't care. Chapter 9. 5 minutes that change everything. Here's the ritual. No thinking. Wake up. No phone. Cold water on face and neck. 20 push-ups. Write 3 lines. Gratitude, direction, fear. Sit still for 60 seconds. 5 minutes, that's it. Do it every day for 30 days and mornings stop owning you. Control compounds.identity locks in. Most people will read this, feel something, and do nothing. That's normal. But if you move, really move, 3 months from now, nobody will recognize you. And that's the point. Once you know this, ignorance is dead. Now it's just choice. Chapter 10. When the old you starts to panic. The first thing nobody tells you about real change is this. It scares the hell out of the old version of you. Not metaphorically, literally. The moment you stop negotiating, the part of you that lived off comfort starts panicking. It realizes something dangerous is happening. Control is slipping. That's when the sabotage shows up. Suddenly, you're tired for no reason. Suddenly, the plan feels too extreme. Suddenly, you start questioning whether discipline is even healthy. That's not logic. That's withdrawal. The old identity doesn't want to die quietly. It wants to survive by slowing you down. The man in the desert knew this phase well. He called it the false crisis. Nothing was actually wrong. But his body screamed like it was. Muscles hurt more. Sleep got weird. Doubt got loud. That wasn't failure. That was adaptation. Your nervous system hates change before it accepts it. So it throws noise at you. Your job isn't to win arguments with it. Your job is to keep moving anyway. Chapter 11. Why consistency feels empty at first. Here's the brutal truth. The early stages of discipline feel unrewarding. No fireworks, no cinematic payoff, just repetition, silence, boredom. This is where most people quit. They mistake the absence of excitement for the absence of progress. But that quiet, that's where the real work happens. That's where your brain starts rewiring behind the scenes. No dopamine hits, no applause, just slow structural change. The man didn't train for vibes. He trained for inevitability. He wanted his response to pressure to be automatic, calm, relentless. If you're waiting to feel disciplined, you'll never become it. Discipline feels flat at first, neutral, almost boring. That's because your system is switching from emotional fuel to structural fuel. Boring is good. Boring means it's working. Chapter 12. The day you realize you don't need motivation. There comes a strange morning. Nothing dramatic happens. No speech. No epiphany. You wake up and move. Without the internal debate. No hype. No resistance. Just execution. That's the moment motivation becomes irrelevant. The man noticed it years into his training. One day, his body moved before thought. He didn't feel strong. He didn't feel brave. He just did. That's when he knew discipline had crossed a line, from effort to identity. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. Once the system is installed, motivation becomes optional. You stop needing emotional permission to act. And that's dangerous in a good way. Chapter 13. The loneliest phase of growth. This part doesn't get talked about much. As you change, the distance between you and other people grows. Not because you're better, but because your priorities shift. You stop finding comfort in complaining. You stop bonding over excuses. You stop laughing at the same distractions. And that creates silence in relationships that used to feel full. The man lost friends without fighting them. They just couldn't follow his pace. And he didn't slow down to make them comfortable. You'll feel this too. People won't attack you directly. They'll joke, downplay, change the subject. That's their nervous system protecting itself. Don't explain, don't argue, don't convert. Keep walking. Chapter 14. Discipline reveals who you really are. Here's the part nobody escapes. Discipline doesn't just build you, it exposes you. Every weakness you masked with distraction comes to the surface. Fear, insecurity, anger, doubt. That's not regression, that's revelation. When the noise dies, what's left finally gets air. Most people run back to comfort at this stage. They mistake exposure for failure. The man leaned into it. He treated emotional discomfort like physical training. Unpleasant, but necessary. You're not broken because this feels hard. It feels hard because you stopped hiding. Stay there. Chapter 15. Time starts moving differently. Something subtle happens after weeks of consistency. Time stretches. Days feel longer, not because life slows down, but because you're actually present. Scrolling compresses time. Discipline expands it. The man used to say distraction was a thief that didn't steal money. It stole awareness. Once he removed it, days stopped blurring together. Every action carried weight. You'll notice this too. You'll waste less time not because you're stricter, but because you see clearly how expensive distraction really is. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Chapter 16. The point of no return. There's a line. You don't know when you cross it. But one day, going back feels heavier than moving forward. Comfort stops being comfortable. Laziness starts feeling painful. That's the point of no return. The man knew once he reached it, his life was locked in. Not because he was perfect, but because his standards had teeth. He could fail, but he couldn't pretend anymore. That's where discipline stops being something you do and becomes something you are. Chapter 17. Why most people never get here. Most people quit right before identity change, right before momentum flips, right before the system locks in. Not because they're weak, but because no one warned them this phase would feel empty, lonely, and unrewarded. You were warned. If you're still here, it's because some part of you is done negotiating, done waiting, done explaining. This isn't about becoming extreme. It's about becoming exact. Doing what you said you'd do, especially when nobody's watching. That's how the man became unbreakable. Not legendary, not famous, unbreakable. Chapter 18. The question that ends everything. The man closed his notebook with one final thought, written in rough pencil, barely legible. If no one ever sees this, would I still live this way? That's the real test. If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, start over, quietly. Because the world doesn't change when you feel ready. It changes when you stop negotiating. And now that you know this, there's no neutral ground anymore. Chapter 19. The day discipline stops feeling heroic. Nobody tells you this part because it doesn't sell well. Discipline eventually stops feeling powerful. It stops feeling like a flex. There are no adrenaline spikes, no inner speeches, just routine. And that's the point. The man in the desert reached a phase where nothing felt dramatic anymore. Training wasn't inspiring. Solitude wasn't romantic. Even suffering lost its edge. Everything flattened into process. Wake, move, work, reflect, sleep, repeat. That's when he knew the war was almost over. Because ego feeds on emotion. When emotion dries up, ego starves. And when ego dies, discipline becomes effortless. Not easy, effortless. Like gravity, like breathing. If you're waiting for discipline to feel exciting forever, you're still chasing feelings. Real power feels boring to people who never earned it. Chapter 20. When your environment starts resisting you. Once you change internally, the external world pushes back. Not aggressively, subtly. Invitations increase. Distractions get louder. Old habits start showing up just this once. It's not coincidence. Systems resist disruption. The man noticed it too. People pulled at him when he became unavailable. Noise tried to re-enter when silence became his baseline. Comfort disguised itself as balance. You'll see it. Suddenly, everyone wants access to your time. Suddenly, the discipline you built starts looking too intense to others. That's not concern. That's friction. You don't fight it. You don't explain. You tighten your structure. Because discipline isn't fragile, but attention is. Chapter 21. The final lie falls apart. There's one lie that survives longer than all the others. The idea that one day you'll arrive. That discipline will be complete. That the work will be done. That lie dies last. The man understood something brutal. There is no finish line. There is no permanent state of control. There is only maintenance daily. Unsexy, but repetitive. You don't build discipline to stop working. You build it so the work stops feeling heavy. Once you accept that, the pressure disappears. You're no longer chasing a future version of yourself. You're just showing up as who you decided to be. That's freedom most people never taste. Chapter 22. Why you don't talk about it anymore. At some point, you stop trying to convince people. You stop sharing methods. Stop arguing philosophy. Stop explaining why you live the way you do. Not because you're arrogant, but because explanation requires energy, and you don't waste energy anymore. The man didn't preach. He didn't recruit. He didn't argue with those who didn't understand. He knew discipline isn't transferred through words. It's transmitted through example, or not at all. You'll feel this shift. Silence won't feel lonely anymore. It'll feel efficient, and efficiency beats validation every time. Chapter 23. The moment you realize you've changed it won't come with fireworks. One random day, you'll notice something small. You'll face discomfort without flinching. You'll make a hard choice without drama. You'll walk away from something tempting without internal chaos. And you'll pause, not proud, not shocked, just aware. The old version of you wouldn't have handled this moment. This one did. That's when you understand the truth. Change didn't announce itself. It stacked quietly, brick by brick, day by day, and now the structure holds. Chapter 24. What discipline actually gives you not happiness, not success, not perfection. It gives you self-trust. That's the real prize. Knowing that when you say you'll do something, it gets done. Knowing your word means something to you. The man valued that above everything. Weapons rust, strength fades. Reputation disappears, but self-trust survives chaos. Once you have it, fear loses leverage. Doubt loses volume, comfort loses control. You don't become fearless, you become reliable. Ot tiki toam. Chapter 25. The last entry in the notebook. The man wrote one final line before closing the notebook for good. Not advice, not strategy, just a fact. The hardest part was never the work. It was deciding once and never reopening the argument. That was it. No drama. No legacy talk, just truth. Chapter 26. Now it's your turn. You don't need a cave. You don't need isolation. You don't need extreme conditions. You need one decision that doesn't expire. Stop negotiating with yourself. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop asking permission for moods that change hourly. Movement first, feelings later. 3 months from now, the question isn't whether your life will change. It's whether you'll recognize the person living it. Because once discipline becomes identity, there's no going back. Only forward, quietly, relentlessly. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and comment.